is up, guys? Welcome back to another video of ours. Today I'm going to be working on the turbo, my VF39 out of my STI. As you can see, I have the old housing for the hot side, the old housing for the cold side. I've cleaned them up as best as I could, and then I have a brand new cartridge that I actually was able to find here locally in town. A guy was selling it off of Facebook, and I picked it up for around 200 bucks, so it wasn't too expensive for that. Quick note, don't buy turbo housings or rebuild kits on eBay unless they're like extremely reputable, just because you don't want to, put something cheap. I looked on eBay and one for this was around 90 bucks. And I was like really hesitant to purchase it just because I didn't want to throw, something shitty into my VF39 turbo. So luckily enough, I was able to find one here locally in town, and the guy sold it to me. It was a pretty quick process. And then another thing that I did wrong was when taking apart, my brother and I were taking apart the turbo. We ended up throwing pretty much every single bolt and screw in the garbage can. So today I was going to film a video, and I realized that pretty much most of my hardware was missing. So I had to run to, Ace Hardware, and pick up all the little screws for the back of it. So it's a good thing that I'm going to be putting fresh hardware in anyways. I probably wouldn't have wanted to use the old stuff. And then I also ended up throwing away the oil, the little oil screws that go into the oil lines into the turbo with the old cartridge. Again, I totally missed that, so I'm gonna have to go to Subaru or go to like Advance Auto and have them order me new ones. Other than that, I kept my old housings and then my old wastegate actuator, and I was able to keep the clip that attaches the housing or the turbine to the actual hot side housing. So yeah. All right, so what I'm gonna be doing first for my turbo is I'm gonna try to attach the compressor to the hot side over here, and it's kind of tricky just because you have a dust shield that's sitting right behind the hot side turbine wheel, and you have to align that like extremely correctly or it won't fit on there, which is kind of frustrating. And another thing for this hot side is just because it's so old and it has about 150,000 miles on it, I'm gonna have to sand the inside because it is made of cast iron, and cast iron does rust easily. So with all the stuff back here, I'm gonna have to sand it out in order for it to actually fit on the hot side compressor wheel. And then it does have a little notch in here, so it is very easy to line up with the actual hot side. The only problem I'm gonna be having is lining up and clocking the cold side correctly, which it doesn't have any kind of orientation on it. There's no like notches to line up, so I'm gonna have to do it myself, and I'm gonna see how it goes. Luckily, my brother has his 2005 STI with the VF39 sitting out there, so I'll just be able to look at it easily and hopefully figure it out. And you're gonna want to seal the cold side before you actually screw it together with the ultra red high temp RTV. I use the Permatex brand just because it has the best reputation for not messing up, and it holds very well as well. So that's the stuff I go with when I'm using high temp RTV. And then yeah, so I'm gonna get started on this hot side, trying to kind of sand out some of the metal in here, that way it fits a little better on the turbo, and then kind of lining it up together. All right, so after about 20 minutes, 15-20 minutes of sanding this thing, I still can't get it back on unfortunately. I don't know what the hell is going on with this. I definitely have to use it, so I'm gonna go find a Dremel and hopefully sand a lot of this corroded stuff out of the compressor, and hopefully get it to fit somehow, because if I can't get it to fit, then I may have to buy a new one, and I don't really want to do that. So yeah, hopefully I can get a lot of this crud out of here and get it to fit properly, and then have it seat in there as well properly, so we won't have any leaks. So I figured it out. It wasn't as hard as I thought it would be, but I ended up not finding the Dremel. So the next best thing that I have is this drill. I just put a grinder wheel at the end of it. It's a 120 grit grinder wheel. You'll find a lot of these at like Ace Hardware and stores like that. And then use the drill and kind of drilled it in there, like just all over the place. Not too much though, because if you go too much, you'll have slop within the housing and the actual turbine cartridge. So you don't want to do it too much. Just enough so you're able to seat the cartridge to the housing. And then after this, the next step is going to be to clean both the turbine and the housing and the cold side housing as well. So I'm going to use just brake cleaner and some paper towels and get those cleaned up, make sure that there's no oil around them. And then we'll work on attaching them together and then putting the C-clamp on here. And then we'll work on the cold side. So the next step you're going to want to do is get this hot side. Right now I have the actual compressor laying down just on the cold side right here. It's not actually attached on it. I just have it sitting on there. And then to get both of these lined up, it's really easy with the hot side, because if you'll notice on here, there's actually a little notch. So it's easy to line that up. And for the cartridge, there's a hole right there. So it's really easy to tell. I just put it in here and then get the hot side, slide it on, make sure you don't damage the actual fan blade itself, like barely even touch it. And then just slide it on there easily. And you wanna make sure, another thing, you wanna make sure that the heat shield on the back right here is like perfectly in the middle. If it's not perfectly in the middle, then you're gonna have a hard time getting this thing on, and it's gonna give you a lot more trouble than you actually want. So you don't wanna mess it up. Shouldn't be that hard actually. So let's pop her back in. Boom. And then we are done. It is on there. And once you have it on there all the way, just press it down and make sure that it's all the way on there. And then in the back, spin the actual turbine wheel and listen to it. Make sure it doesn't touch, there's no metal on metal contact, because you don't want that. Otherwise, it'll screw up your engine big time. Next thing we have to do is get that little, I don't know, O clip, C clip, whatever the hell this is. I don't know turbo parts, okay? But anyway, we gotta get this on there. Let's see, how should we do this? I know it has to be on a certain direction, but I don't know if it matters where it sits. I'd have to take a look at my brother's car. I'm just gonna actually put it where it's not in the way of anything. Let's see. I don't know exactly how I wanna put it on. I may have to look at my brother's turbo and see where it's sitting, because if I put it on there wrong, then I'm gonna have to take it back off and then reinstall it. But it shouldn't really be that hard, at least I don't think. You know what, I'm gonna probably keep it on this side. I don't know, I may have to actually take a look at his car, because I don't really remember how it went back on, so. And I don't know if it actually matters. Probably does, but I don't know. Let's see here. Just want to get it on there just barely, and then actually take a look at his turbo. And this is gonna fall, I know it, so I'm gonna prop it up with the actual wastegate actuator. Damn it. Come on. There we go. Stay. And get this thing strapped on there. Get this guy all the way on. Tighten it down. Wait, righty tighty, lefty loosey, right? Oh, that's tight, that's loose. There we go. You want this thing pretty tight. Give it like, I don't know, 100 good ugga-duggas, and you'll be good. Just make sure it doesn't snap. And then after this, we have to worry about the cold side. Have to make sure it's pretty tight. I'd rather it be a little too tight than a little too loose. And check one more time. Make sure that the fan isn't touching anything. And it's not, so we're good. Now, I can actually take this off. And then now we have to figure out how to clock it correctly. But it doesn't really matter because it does have a rubber hose that's able to flex, so should be able to just put it on fairly easily. Don't forget to put on the flux capacitor. On the turbo?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I thought the turbo was the flux capacitor.
No. The turbo needs a flux capacitor.
Oh, no. No, it doesn't. Alright, so we kind of know which way it goes, and no, it does not go like this. It's gonna have to go boom, right over here. It has to make a 90-degree angle. That's what I just look at. Hot side right here, cold side right here. It goes in, spins the wheel, comes back out at a 90-degree angle. So it should work right about there. Now we're gonna have to break out our RTV tube. Put a little thin layer of RTV. My Permatex here. Oh look, it was already opened. Draw that away, we don't need it. Shit, I'm dropping everything. And I'm gonna cut on this little lid thing. I don't know if you can see it very well. I'm gonna cut the very smallest hole on here just so I could get a nice thin layer right around the corner here. That way it actually seats properly and then it seals it all up. You don't want any Permatex on the actual inside portion. You want it just right on the outside here. And we will do that here real quick. So this is my thin layer of Permatex sealant right here. I really didn't use a whole lot, as you can tell. I just cut the smallest tip from this bottle and then just spread it around. And you don't need a lot, so just, you know, don't put a whole lot on there. Otherwise, it's gonna start getting like inside the turbo and then it's gonna start squeezing out. And then now we have to line this bad boy up. Make sure it doesn't move on us. And then one more time, make sure your surface is clean. No debris, nothing on there. You don't want anything getting stuck in here. Hey bro, can I have your help real quick?
Yeah.
Just need somebody to hold the
Cold side?
yeah, so I can lay this in there. He's freaking like washing his car outside in the cold because it's dirty. Yeah?
Yeah, I'm giving her a sponge bath. I'm not really washing.
Yeah.
Just a quick little sponge bath.
So I just finished building my turbo and everything went pretty smoothly. I got both sides attached and now I just have to wait for the sealant to dry on the cold side. I was also able to find a little C-clip for the wastegate actuator back here, just laying around in some of my drawers, so I kind of just made it work for that. And I checked it and the wastegate works fine. So yeah, if you want to get a turbo for your car, like sticking stock is not bad as long as you know you can rebuild it. I probably, if you end up having to buy a brand new turbo, I'd probably just upgrade it. But with me, with my situation, I'd rather not upgrade my turbo just because I'm not upgrading anything else in my car besides forged internals, no fuel system, nothing like that. So I thought that getting a brand new cartridge for my turbo is probably the best idea, and then sticking with the stock. That way I don't have to spend $1,100-$1,200 for a brand new, a little slightly bigger turbo, but rather just get the cartridge for $200, $300, $400. So yeah, it kind of worked out for me. So now that it's built, I'm gonna wait for the sealant to dry, and then probably be coming out with a few more videos with the parts. I'm not sure exactly when I'm getting my parts, probably sometime in March for the engine itself, so I can't actually start assembly for that until then. So that'll be a while, but we will be coming out with a few other videos on my car and then Sergey's car, because we still have a bunch of parts to install. But yeah, other than that, this turbo is built, and then now I just wait for it, and then we'll have other videos coming out soon. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. Remember, comment, like, subscribe, and then we'll see you in the next video.